Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today I'm doing the Best Loved Books tag. This was created by Chelsea over on the Reading Outdoor channel, and I was tagged to do this by Rachel, whose channel is Calanardi. I'll link both their channels in the description box below, of course. The idea of the tag is to show books that you've loved over many years, probably since childhood, so there are no recent favourites from last year or anything, for instance. All the books I'm showing you are indeed all old. They are at least 20 years old, every single one of them, and most of them show their signs of age. They're all yellowed, several of them have got loose pages, and I still think every single one of them is frankly brilliant, which is why I've obviously kept them and not given them away over the years. And without further delay, I'll show you the first one. So this first book is one that I've shown before, although it's the only one that I've shown before, and that is The Colour of Magic by Teipatchi. This is one that I obviously love. I love Teipatchi. This book, and indeed this exact copy, is the first book I ever read as a child. I didn't learn to read very early. I was actually 8 before I could read. I just found it quite difficult, and this was the first book I picked up by myself and read at age about 8.5, I think I was. And I've reread this book so many times, it is absolutely insane. Probably over 100 times, which I know sounds ridiculous, but it probably is accurate. And I can show you how much I like this book by the fact that most of the pages are falling out. The first 80 pages are all completely separate, and it makes reading the book page by page to be a very literal experience when the pages are indeed completely separate. So, and I'm going to be very careful putting this book down now because I don't really want the pages falling all over the floor. So the second book I'm showing you is not just really one book, it's actually a series of books, although also I'm going to show you one for quickness, and that is City of Thieves by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. This was purely Ian Livingstone's book though. They did some of the books together and some of them individually. These are part of the Fighting Fantasy series. They are choose your own adventure books where you roll dice and you need a pencil and a rubber and ideally a notepad, although you can write them in the book, but that's frankly irritating. And you've got to battle monsters and pick up treasure and figure out the best way to go. You can be obviously horribly eaten and chopped apart by the monsters, and obviously the point is to beat the big bad guy of some kind and become, you know, the hero and save the world or the village or whatever it happens to be. I love these books. I did them multiple times. I failed them repeatedly, and even now if I were to do like this one for instance, which is a particular favourite right now, I would still probably fail it multiple times before I actually figured out the right path to go because they are very easy to fail. There are 59 of the books in numbered sequence. I have 50 of them I believe, and I do have most of the other sort of offshoot books as well that are related to them, and I just love these books. They're just so fun. The third book is The Mystery of Banshee Towers by Enid Blyton. I've never mentioned Enid Blyton before, which is odd because I actually read quite a lot of her books when I was very young. And this is the 15th book in the 5 Find Out series. This is basically like the famous 5 books, but for a slightly younger audience, by about 3 years I believe. And these are about 5 kids and their little dog called Buster, who go on a series of little sort of adventures, and you have to solve the local crimes basically. They're simple by today's standards, but they still hold up I think, and they're still fun. And now that I'm looking at it, I might be tempted to read it in the near future in fact, so don't be surprised to hear me talk about this in a wrap up video in the next few months. The fourth book is The Hardy Boys, Secrets of the Caves by Franklin W. Dixon. I loved these books when I was younger. I don't have many of them, unlike the other books which I generally have quite a lot of. I only actually have about 9 Hardy Boys books, although I've read most of them probably a dozen times each. I didn't know until only recently that Franklin W. Dixon is not actually one individual author, it's not just one man. He's actually a sort of company and a series of writers who have wrote the books over several years, which I found really surprising. And they're just really fun sort of teenage adventure books, frankly, with Frank and Joe, which is one of the few books where a character actually has my first name. and their father is detective. They sort of take after him, and they sort of solve crimes, and sort of fairly traditional, but still brilliant. The next is The Animals of Farthing Wood by Colin Dann. I loved this book when I was younger. There was a TV series that they made of this, and indeed the other books. There's about 7 of the books in total. It's about a group of animals journey from Farthing Wood, obviously, which has been sort of bulldozed to make room for obviously modern development, a housing estate or something, and they go on an adventure to find this sort of almost mystical park that they have heard of, but they don't really know what it is, or indeed they're not 100% sure where it is, but they think they do. And these animals have to work together to get there without getting eaten or run over, or there's other dangers that obviously lie on their really long journey. The other books obviously are based when they are in the park and their sort of toils and troubles there, and they're just fun books. And finally, the last book is not actually one book, it's actually a box set, and that is the Chronicles of Narnia. These are brilliant books, very well known, turned into films within the last 10 years I think it was. This is a very battered box set, as you can see from the big tear in the cover. I really liked these books when I was younger. I haven't, oddly enough, read them all. I read the first 5 books. The last 2, which are The Silver Chair and The Last Battle, I have actually never read. I'm not entirely sure why, but I just kept reading the first few books, and then by the time I got to the end of the series, I think I just got distracted by other things because I was obviously younger, and then I would just not read them, and then by the time I thought of them again, I would start from the beginning again, and that would just keep repeating and repeating. So I never actually got around to reading the last 2. But I probably should make an effort actually, because they are just quite fun, interesting books with some really nice little ideas. So that's it. Other than The Colour Magic and Telepathy, I've never mentioned any of these books or authors before, and I've really enjoyed doing this tag because it's made me obviously have to look amongst my old books and remember why I love these books, and indeed I may well be reading several of them in the not so distant future, or at least this year anyway. If you've read any of these books or would like to read any of them, then please let me know in the comments below as always, and we can have a conversation. All my social media links can be found in the description box below, as well as the 2 people that I mentioned earlier. And with that said, that's it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.